Okay, it is just after 4:38 p.m. Eastern Time in these United States of America. Leslie was in early. Leslie was in early. She was first. Absolutely, she was first. Pretty amazing. She was in at 4:21 p.m. waiting for the show. Now, that's what we call dedication. And so we're going to talk about some stunners. That is the thumbnail that I used for the video. GS Super Watches. GS is becoming super. GS is becoming super. What do you guys think about that? Super. So, yeah, there's some watches that they've come out with recently that are all the rave. I have to say, I haven't seen these in person, but I have trusted individuals, Wrench Gang members that own them and that have seen them and own them. I think seeing them is to own them. I think once you see them, you have to own them. I think that's how this whole thing works. So let me see if I can share this other screen here real quick. And here's a couple of pictures of some of these stunners bouncing around, folks. Stunners around. Some of them are spring drives and some of them are high beat. So they make both. And let me see, I think I got some more photos in the background here. Let me, oh, that's a photo we showed before. That's another stunner. See, all these stunners, these Grand Seiko stunners bouncing around. There's another stunner. Let's see here. All these stunners bouncing around. And I think that this particular model, the Birch that's on the right and the left of the 002, I think that's what they're starting to focus in on. Some of these folks are starting to focus in on the Birch. And now there's one with a black dial. Hey, things are getting thick on the channel. Things are getting thick on the channel. So, so we'll see what happens here. Comments. We got some comments. Rocky Raccoon is in the house. SLGA007 is still the king. Looking forward to them bringing out the black Birch later this year, though. I thought the black Birch is out. I saw a photo earlier. Boozer's in the house. You're back. Missed the shows. Tom's in the house. And Derek's in the house. Way too long with no show. And almost died from boredom here. Uh-oh, that's not good. And Ray's in the house. It's been a while. And so what do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. What do you think about these stunners that are the rave, these stunners? The 002 in the middle, of course, is the original stunner that came out a couple of years ago. And now we've got the Birch series, and they are really, there's a buzz out there. That's all I can say. Maybe some folks can share in the chat the stats on these. How thick are they? What's the case size? Let's get some details in here from some people that might be in the know. Let me see, go back to comments here. What's up? Craig, how come you're not visibly in tatters or depression from the BTC pullback? Okay, we'll talk about that. Some people have asked me about BTC. And yeah, we can talk about that. That's not going to take long. Let's see, brand. Let me get this picture off the screen here. Okay, so since this is the pregame show, and by the way, if you want to skip forward, the official show starts in 18 minutes. So if you want to skip forward 18 minutes from this point, you can skip forward. The show starts at 5 o'clock. It's 4:42 p.m. This is the pregame show. So on the subject of the Bitcoin, 2 years ago, Bitcoin was about $9,000. So it's about $20,000 right now. Bitcoin is doing just fine, folks. Just fine. Don't think short term when you're talking about Bitcoin. It's not good for your health, not good for your mental health. It's best to think long term. Buy and hold, and you'll be fine. Bitcoin goes like this, up and down, up and down, up and down. And as long as you can hold, it generally goes up more over time than it goes down. And so that's how that whole thing works. So if you got a strong hand and you don't panic sell, like a lot of people have been panic selling recently, they're getting burned. I actually bought some Bitcoin recently when it was below 20,000. I actually bought some Bitcoin. I don't need any more. I've got plenty, but I went ahead and bought some anyway because I can. So yeah, Bitcoin's going to be fine. A lot of the crypto scams out there are crashing and burning. That's what caused a lot of this carnage. They call, anytime somebody talks about crypto, run and hide, run the other way. Okay. All those things are pretty much scams. And a couple of them have imploded recently, which also hurt the price of Bitcoin because people had to liquidate Bitcoin to cover losses and things like that. Also, there's been a big sell-off in general of what people consider risk-on assets. I don't consider Bitcoin a risk-on asset long-term, but short-term, there are people that do consider it that way. So they go in and out, and they trade and all this stuff. I don't do any of that. I just buy and hold. And if you buy and hold, I think you'll be fine. So yeah, put things in perspective, folks. At $20,000, Bitcoin is doing just fine, just fine. And the biggest thing that you should look at is network adoption, the growth of the network. As long as that continues to grow, then long-term, the price will be fine. Because remember, the number of Bitcoin is fixed. If the network continues to grow over time, the price can only go up. That's just simple math. Okay, let's go in here to the comments. Let's dig in here. Kyle's in the house. So Ray, Derek, Tom, Boozer, Rocky. Okay, and maybe Kyle can join us at some point. Maybe he can join us in the show and give us a West Coast update. Is it I'll have a look. The Black Birch was showcased privately at Watches and Wonders, but I couldn't leak it at that time. Okay. Let's get some information. Is the Black Birch actually out yet, or is it vaporware? Let us know in the chat. And also, I want to know the dimensions on these. How thick is it? Okay. Case size, all of these good things. We want the details in the chat, folks. Come on, let's get on the show here. Kyle's in the house. He says, Ray, how are you? Kevin's in the house. I like the titanium spring drive GMT black dial. Whoa. Okay. Which model? Let David in. Okay. Trump 2024. There you go. Let's see. Lamont is in the house. Okay. Let's see. Rocky Raccoon. Black Birch shown its face, but doesn't actually release until August of 2022. Okay, Rocky giving us some details. Now, remember, some of these watches may or may not be available out of Japan sooner. I have it on good authority that an ex-Wrench Gang member purchased a rare Grand Seiko direct from Japan recently, and actually got a good price because the Japanese currency is down. The whatever they call their currency now, it slips my mind. But anyway, the purchasing power of the dollar is it the yen? Whatever the heck it is. Anyway, it's up. The purchasing power of the dollar is up. Their currency is down. Okay. John Smith in the house. Looks like buying and holding Rolex Day-Date or GMT was a better store value compared to no, actually Rolexes are not doing well. It's I hope you guys sold back when I told you to sell. Back when Bitcoin was like $9,000 a Bitcoin. I hope you sold your steel stunners at that point and bought some Bitcoin, because you'd have been much better off than holding the steel stunners. Don't know how the day dates are doing. The day dates are doing maybe kind of okay, but they'd be kind of level. They wouldn't have doubled in value, right? If you bought a Bitcoin at 9,000, it's double that right now, right? So you'd still be way ahead. But yeah, the watches. Hey, here's a pro tip. Any watches that you look at as an investment, get out of them. Get out of them now if you can. Big word being if. The market is getting really soft. A lot of the gray market dealers just aren't even buying right now. So if you can get out of those investment watches, do so now and take that money and put it into Bitcoin. That's what I would do. Now, to buy a watch to wear, like a stunner like this, absolutely. Buy your watches to wear and enjoy. Don't buy them as investments. This 002 Stunner is not an investment. It's a watch for me to wear, an 18 karat gold Stunner for me to wear. That's how that whole thing works. And that watch right there is not an investment. That is a heavy use sport watch that is spot on accurate after 4+ years, bulletproof, reliable, looks great on wrist, comfortable. Yeah. So if you like to wear a sport watch, if you like a bigger watch, like to wear a sport watch, the 231 could be the best option out there. Boozers in the house. Craig, how would you rate Joe Biden's job performance? His rating below F. I mean, you hate to see the whole oil and gas industry basically shut down in these United States, and which is basically what they did. It's just really tragic, and it's going to have really far-reaching consequences. So yeah, it's a total fail. Rocky Raccoon is in the house. Black birch is a 40 millimeter, 11.7 millimeter thick high beat. Okay, so what is the thickness? Does anybody know what the thickness is on the birch with the spring drive? If you opt for the spring drive, I understand there's a birch model that has a spring drive. And by the way, is the black birch titanium? I heard a rumor that it might be titanium. Let me know in the chat. Come on, we want details, folks. I think there's only one ex-wrench gang member. Kyle's in the house. Lamont had a wrench at one point and now doesn't. Okay, so there could be as many as two. Durr's in the house. John Smith is right. Selling at the Rolex high point and buying Bitcoin at the price it was at the time would be disastrous result in the current market. Well, if you bought Bitcoin at the top, yeah. But here's the thing. The difference is there's a big difference. Bitcoin will recover from this pullback and will go to new highs. Okay. This whole hype steel Rolex market, it's gone forever. It ain't coming back. Okay. It was an anomaly. It was bizarre. To say in a word, it was bizarre, right? And so that ain't going to continue. And so there's going to be no recovery there. So if people have a lot of money in steel Rolexes, 10 years from now, they're going to be saying, wow, what in the hell was I thinking? Whereas if you have Bitcoin, whatever price you bought it at, 10 years from now, you're going to be saying, I'm good. I'm good with that. So that's the difference. It's quite a distinction, right? So, and by the way, not that many people bought at the top. Not that many people bought at like $65,000, right? Most people that own Bitcoin today bought at considerably lower numbers than that. So, and if people have been listening to me for years, they bought, at $4,000, $3,000. I first started talking about it publicly when it was $1,250 a Bitcoin. That's when I talked about it publicly. I talked about it with some of my friends when it was like $30 a Bitcoin, when it was really speculative. So, it's all, the longer you wait to enter into Bitcoin, the lower the risk. The earlier you enter, there's more risk, right? So as the price goes up, there'll be less and less risk. Like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, it won't be nearly as volatile as it is now because it'll have a bigger market cap and it won't be able to have as many big pullbacks and big upswings as it does now. It'll kind of level out and just be going up gradually, right? As the market cap gets bigger. Black birch is 10,400. That's ridiculous. It should be $5,800 watch, not 10K watch. Yeah, they're really going up in price. Well, everything's going up in price. I mean, inflation is out of control. So there's that too. I mean, look at the gasoline. Look how much it's gone up. I mean, it's insane. I guarantee you Rolex will probably be having some price hikes here pretty soon too. It's total insanity out there, folks. Yep. I don't know what to tell you guys, you youngsters. Yes, black birch is titanium. Black birch is in titanium. Craig, can I call in? Call in. Well, you can join. You could join the show. Let me put the show in the chat for people that want to come in. Copying the clipboard. I'm going to put the link in here for anybody that wants to come in to join. Okay. And there it is. That's the link to join. You can even join with most cell phones. Let's see. Rolex is getting a pricing every market except US from what I heard. Yeah, but it'll probably have one in the US sooner rather than later, be my guess. Are Hoffman subs still affordable? They've actually raised the price. I think they've gone up like $1 or something. So yeah, they've even gone up. Everything's going up. Hey, when gasoline doubles, everything has to go up because everything's delivered with fuel, like with diesel fuel, right? That's how this whole thing works. Let's see here. Glad I got my GS last year. Current prices are somewhat challenging to justify. Yeah, I mean, and remember back when the whole lockdown thing started, when the whole COVID thing started, remember I told people, I said, stock up on food items that don't go bad. Buy anything valuable that you want, buy it then, because I said inflation's coming. It's going to come, right? And shortages, food shortages are going to come. I predicted both of those things. And I said, if you want to buy a watch, buy it. If you want to buy, a car, whatever, buy it then, right? And then, of course, all those things got expensive and harder to get and so on and so forth. And so, yeah. That's how you front run these things. You try to front run these things. Boozer in the house. I vote for Try to have his wrench reinstated against his will. Whoa, we're gonna start forcing people to have a wrench. Wow, that's pretty aggressive. Derek's in the house. Let's see here. Craig, when are we going to film at Rolex AD? I was waiting for 3 years now. They don't have any watches and they won't let me film in there. So other than that, we're doing good on that one. Wow, these are some stunners in the thumbnails. There you go. Abs positively lootly. Let's pull up this. Let's pull up these. Hold on a second here. Let's pull up a couple of these again. I'm going to share this screen again and show you guys. Show you guys some stunners. Stunner alert on the channel. Bam. Okay. Talk about some stunners. Some stunners on the channel. Okay, so that's enough of that. We're teasing you guys enough with these. Okay, so titanium G&T is SBGE283 and 285. Sounds good to me. I looked at a titanium before I bought the 231. I looked at a titanium GMT, and I think the reason I decided to get the diver is I thought that the bezel would be more useful if I want to time like a parking meter or something like that. And also I like the adjustable clasp on it. And I like the general look of it. So, but I was on the fence. I could have taken either one. Everything's going up. Nothing is the cost of peanuts anymore, unfortunately. Even the peanuts are going up. I remember that advice and acted accordingly. David Williams in the house. Okay. It is a good idea to buy a new 36 millimeter day-date now or hold off to see what happens with future prices. How available are they? Are they even available right now? Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I think if you can get one, I don't know. I mean, obviously, it depends on your financial situation and all of that. If you wait for a discount, you may be waiting a long time. If there's one available and it's got the sleeves in the clasp, not the clasp, in the ceramic sleeves in the bracelet, in the President bracelet, I would absolutely go for it if you can find one with a dial that you like, and if you have relatively young eyes so that you can read it. Yeah, I mean, I wore a 36 mil day-date for like, almost 40 years, various models. The last one I had for like 20 years. So obviously I'm a big fan. I wouldn't have worn them if I wasn't a big fan. Y'all got PlayStation 5 yet? Okay. Craig, how many miles are too much for a Prevost bus? It depends on how the bus was maintained. If you're talking about a motor coach, I would get one from preferably the original owner and always garage kept and with all the service records. If it's got all the service records, most of those aren't going to have much more than 100,000 miles on it anyway, right? Because they're an RV. But I wouldn't be scared of one with 100,000 miles or even upwards to 200,000 miles if it was garage kept its entire life when it was not in use, and if they have all the service records. So I think you'd be good. But I would have it checked out by a Prevost service facility as a contingency on the deal. I would absolutely do that. Lamont in the house. Let's see. I like timing with a diver over a chrono. Okay. During the house. Lamont. Yeah, Lamont's in the house. Let's see. Jason. Day dates are difficult to get from the AD these days. See, that's one of the problems with us talking about day dates too much here on the channel, is we kind of shot ourselves in the foot. Now it's kind of gotten hard to get those too. So yeah, there's that. Would you still pick a Rolex at the AD if offered at list price? I wouldn't. I've stepped up to Grand Seiko. I much prefer my Grand Seiko. I think it's a much better watch. I wouldn't have stepped up to Grand Seiko if I thought Rolex was a better watch. I'd have stayed with Rolex. Let's see. Only thing available at Rolex AD are 31 millimeter two-tone Datejust in limited quantities. For the new folks, why the switch from 40 years with a day date to the 002 Stunner? Okay, so this 002 is actually more comfortable on my wrist than the day date was. It's much more accurate. It's bulletproof accurate. I like the looks of it. I think it's really classy looking. The day date was a little bit over the top sometimes, although it was okay. I mean, that's that depends on how you look at things, right? But overall, from a standpoint of wearing the watch and just enjoying the watch, I much prefer this watch. I think it's just absolutely stunning, the 002. It's easier for me to read than the 36 mil day date. This is a 35.5 mil watch, but the bezel also is very small, so that the dial size on this is actually very large. Larger than the dial on most sport watches, significantly larger than the dial on a sub, for example. So this is very legible even without my reading glasses, whereas the day date I couldn't read anymore without using my reading glasses. So overall, I just like this watch. I prefer it. I find it very versatile. I can wear this with jeans. I can wear this with shorts and a polo shirt. People say, well, it's a dress watch, right? Tell me, does it look okay here? I mean, I'm not wearing it as a dress watch right now. I'm sleeves rolled up. This is pretty casual for me, right? I think it looks fine. So, and then as far as the sport watch goes, the 231, again, much more accurate than a Rolex, more comfortable on wrist because of the titanium. Again, bigger dial, easier to read than a Rolex sub, for example. So for me, for my 60-plus-year-old eyes, it's much easier to read and more accurate. And I love the sweep of that second hand. So to me, it's not even a close call. I think these watches are both superior to a Rolex. Let's see here. So that's the rundown. And I have videos on this subject here on the channel. Durr is correct. The only piece I saw recently an idea was a 31 millimeter. Okay. Craig, a Prevost fits in your garage. Doesn't fit in my garage. I would have to rent a garage space. I did have a garage that I could put my Bluebird in, my 31-foot Bluebird Wander Lodge, but not a 45-foot Prevost would not fit in that garage. So I would have to make other arrangements to store the Prevost, which I would do. I would not leave it sit outside under any circumstances. Surprised the O2 isn't going for 2 times retail after all the media attention Craig has given it. Well, a lot of people have poor taste when it comes to watches. All you have to do is look at some of the watch pages on Facebook, the watch groups and so forth, and look at the watches that they buy and that they talk about. And you see that there is a distinct lack of taste when it comes to watches. I think that's evident. So yeah. Let's see. Forget about day dates. What about a night date for Lance with a very stretched limo to the prom? There you go. I think Lance's prom was like 2 years ago. He may have to bring Bree to a frat party at this point. Lance, we're talking about Lance. Okay. Where is Lance? Lance isn't even in here. Let's see. Good morning. Oh, okay. All right. We've got somebody in here. We got somebody coming in. All right, hold on. Let me bring in a guest. Stand by here. This could be risky business. Bringing in a guest.
It's not that risky, my friend.
Yeah, hold on here. All right, there you go. And now, can you turn the camera the other way? Yeah,
Sure.
there we go. That way you fit in. Where are you headed there? What's up?
Well, I guess if you see it's a little bit daytime, so you can probably understand that I am actually in Japan. I mean, maybe it's not that much understandable, but it's now 6 o'clock in the morning. I actually heading to my tennis match. Actually, more like training with my coach. Um, I don't know if you ever heard of me, Marcelo type. Don't know,
So you're
maybe.
actually in Japan.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay.
in
So
Tokyo
have
actually.
you looked at any Grand Seiko, any jewelers that sell Grand Seikos there? Have you seen it? Are there places that have like real big selection?
Well, I mean, of course, Japanese have also. Um, I mean, they have everything. They also have the domestic pieces as well. Um, yeah, I actually have like 10 Seikos on my own. I mean, I have the Marine Master, and actually, the only ones I don't have is actually Grand Seikos. And the watches are amazing. It's beautiful. And regarding the precision that you said, yes, they are pretty much precise. I also own Rolex. I actually have call it the best Rolex. You know, I have the Smurf and I have the Meteor Dial GMT, and you know, I think I actually like it. Sometimes I look in my Marine Master and it look, you know, it looks stunning. Regarding that yesterday I've been to the Seiko boutique in Motesando, and actually they show me ridiculously stunning Seiko for 7 grand. That
Mm-hmm.
I think is quite expensive. Um,
By
Look,
the
my
way,
opinion,
what
yeah.
watch are you wearing now? What watch are you wearing now?
Actually, I decided to take the Summit today, the Rolex
Very
Summit,
nice. Very nice.
just something more simple. I actually am in the list for Platona. Was supposed to be the Platona with the set diamonds, you know, with the baguette diamonds.
Uh-huh.
But in this case, anything that is available, I'm going to say thank you. Now it became insane, you know.
Cool. Cool.
So
Okay. I have Steve from Little Treasury Jewelers. We're going to bring him in here. Let me just add him in here and see what we can do. I guess we got to
if
do
you
the 3 people in a row. I'll tell you what, I'm going to try to put Steve on the solo layout. Let me try this. All right. Can you hear us, Steve? I don't hear any audio from Steve. So Steve's trying to sort out his audio.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I hear you.
Okay, good. I've turned on the mic.
Good. The gentleman that was just on with me, he's in Japan.
Oh, wow.
Excuse me.
Doing what?
So he was just coming back from playing some tennis. I guess it's early in the morning there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not coming back, going to the church again.
And is he wearing a Grand Seiko?
He's wearing a Rolex Kermit. You need to talk to him.
Oh yeah, we can fix that.
You
Yeah.
need to
Listen,
talk to
listen,
him.
I'm
Can
going
you hear him okay, Steve?
I hear a little chatter in the
Steve,
background. I don't hear it very
you can
clearly.
hear me now?
I can.
Steve, I'm going to tell you what is the biggest problem with Seiko and Grand Seiko in general. And the problem is going to surprise you. The problem is not with the watches. The watches is actually stunning. They are amazing. The problem is the packaging, is how they deliver the final result. You know, like, for example, when you're getting Omega, and I think Omega is not amazing, but the packaging, you say, wow, when you come home and basically you carry with you like 3-4 kilo of packaging, you know?
Hmm.
So I think the delivery is the problem, you know?
Ah.
Even if you know, it's not even about saving money, you know? If you're already paying 10 grand, 20 grand for a Grand Seiko,
Mhm.
2 grand more, you know, if this is what I'm sorry, I'm breathing because I was climbing the mountain. If this what actually give you the wow when you come home, you put your package, it look like you feel like you bought $1 million. You know, you open and you take you thick book and everything look wood and nice. And then you see your tiny watch right there in the middle, and you understand what they say, right? I mean, you're getting this euphoria that wow, it was worth it every penny. This is amazing. Even so that you put the box somewhere in your closet and you're never going to look in your box ever again. You know,
Uh-huh.
but
Well,
this
they,
kind
they
of
occupy a lot of space, don't they? The bigger boxes.
of course,
So
of course. You know, it's not useful. It's completely not practical. But this what you want. You know, this is the psycho, how we say, the psychology thing.
mhm.
You know, so um, yeah, this is what I say. What I say. What do you think?
Yeah. So I'm trying to see the comments here. Oh, hang on. Yeah.
Okay, so Steve, is this gentleman gonna get a Grand Seiko from you? What's going on here?
Well, I don't know. He doesn't like the boxes, and not much I can do about that. But someone like Kyle likes the rice paper. He thinks it's a nice touch.
Hey,
And,
these are watches to wear. We don't need boxes.
yeah. Well, but
We
some
buy
people
these
want that
watches to
experience.
wear.
I'll give it to him.
Rachel is in the house with us. What do you think? Do you think Rachel should have a faux pay necklace?
I think she should. I think every woman should, and she needs to come and see us. We can help her out with that for sure.
Rachel, can you hear us?
Yes, hold on. Did my end? Hold on a
Yeah, I
second.
see you.
Yep, you're
I
in.
see you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
hi, everybody. Yeah, because I don't have the typical setup. It's just my
You're
computer.
good. No, you're good.
I
And
shut my stuff down for right now.
are you familiar with faux pay? With faux pay jewelry? FOPE?
Maybe not jewelry, but fill me in. Tell me all about
Okay,
it.
faux pay is a brand out of Italy. You can see Steve holding one there.
Yeah, let me see.
That's a bracelet.
Okay,
Let me
Craig, I
bring him up to full screen
have
so you can
one.
see it. You can
Yeah.
see what that does. That actually stretches. Take it on and off again, Steve.
I've seen
That-
you with one, Craig.
Yeah, that's the Flex It. Now they also make a necklace that is beautiful. And they're really well done. They're designed to be worn all the time. They're rugged. They're designed to be able to take daily heavy use. And they're only 18 karat gold. You can't get like 14 karat gold or anything like that. They're 18 karat, and they come in, Steve, do they come in white gold and yellow gold and then a combination type thing?
I think they're one of the keepers might be a different color gold, but they're not really two-tone per se, but they're yellow gold, rose gold, or white gold.
They have like little accents on them
Yeah.
sometimes, like a little portion will be like white gold.
Or covered with
And
black
they
diamonds,
really-
for instance.
They're really elegant. And
Where are you located, Rachel? Where you're out west, eh?
I'm right in Maryland, right
Yeah,
here
well,
in Maryland, outside of DC.
Well, don't you ever get over to the more populated side of the state?
One would
when,
say that.
when Steve has his event in the fall, he has a really cool event, and you should definitely make it over there and
I
check
would
it
love
out.
to. Wait, where are you at, Steve?
He's in Gambrels, Maryland, near
Oh,
Annapolis.
you're in Gambrels. Okay.
Or you
Yeah.
know where it is. Okay, great.
Yeah, I've got some stuff that's over outside of Miller's. You've got, there's a couple different things. That's Baltimore County, correct?
No, it's Anne Arundel.
Anne Arundel.
Yeah,
Anne
okay,
Arundel.
We're near not too far from the airport, BWI.
Okay,
Yep.
Nice. All right,
Yeah,
so you're
so
not too
come and
far
see
from
us.
me.
And so, you
October
should
14th
definitely,
and 15th.
you should definitely go to his event. It's a blast,
I would love
and
to.
and
Yeah, please come.
you can check out the faux pay.
Yes, I would love to, because it looks like it's a luxury item that can stand the test of time, right?
That's
correct.
a really, you're a pretty good marketer, aren't you, Rachel?
It might be.
The bracelet, the faux pay bracelet, the Flexit, is literally guaranteed for life.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's literally guaranteed for life, not to fail.
Now, is this just bracelets? Do you do necklaces?
The
rings?
faux pay has beautiful
bracelets,
necklaces,
rings. We have rings,
earrings,
Okay, so it's
all of it.
Yeah.
Do you incorporate any type of gems or like diamonds or anything
Yeah.
else?
So this little keeper thing can be on the bracelet, which I think you can see, can be covered with white or black diamonds.
Yes.
Yeah. Very nice. Now we're speaking, eh? So
okay, that's cool. Yeah, I can't wait to come check that out.
So I think there's an explosion coming. Who was going to have a head explode? Somebody.
What happened? Oh, Durr?
I don't know.
Is he losing his
I was
mind?
reading, Kyle said something about his head exploding. So I'm going to drop a bomb.
Oh, look, there's my D Stifle. There's my buddy. I haven't seen that name in forever.
We just lost your picture, Steve.
Uh-oh.
Your black screen now. So did you push some button or something?
Black screen of death. Hang on.
We've got just a black screen. Okay, well, we've got a black screen. Oh, here we go.
So is that a black screen?
Now we got a feed. Now we got a feed now.
Yeah.
We got
So
a distinguished looking gentleman in a suit. Now, before we go to that, Rachel, can you give us a quick update? What's real estate?
What do you want to know?
What's real estate doing in Frederick County? Is it crashing?
Yeah. No, it's what I like to almost call reverting back to if there is one, normal real estate market. So just did a closing a couple of hours ago. Those clients were putting well over 20% down. In fact, 50% down. I'll give you an idea of what their rate was. 800 plus credit score. I mean, premium buyer. If it's not cash, this is the next type of buyer you would want. And their rate was 5.75.
Wow.
Just did a show with an economist, actually Dr. McMasters from Frederick College, and a loan officer to kind of recap on our predictions from last year and what we expect. Recession is what we feel. I hate to say that word, guys, but that's her opinion. And what we've seen is properties are now the ones that were doing that $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 over. They're all pretty much closing now. Anything that had entered a 30 to 45 day escrow in that time frame before the last rate hike, they're kind of closing out. So now when we're writing offers on things on the list side for sellers, that wave's cresting. So if you're going to sell, I would, and then just watch what's going on over the next few months. But now we're seeing list prices. We're seeing seller subsidy come back into play. We're seeing the contingencies. We're seeing inspections. One of my listings has a appraisal waiver on it, meaning, hey, no matter what it appraises for, we're going to pay the cash difference if it doesn't appraise. Those are dwindling down now. But it's great because I get excited. This is where I'm like, yes, let's get it. Let's do this. Let's grind it out. Let's start these negotiations again. Let's start stepping up our marketing skills.
So people probably should, if they've been thinking about selling, they should probably get busy and get it done.
I would sell now and get it done because the rates are going to go up. Now, remember, even with a seller, the rates are going to affect your buyer power. So if you had 10 buyers that qualified for your property last month, you now only have 5. So someone that was shopping for a $500,000 house a few months ago is now qualifying for 400. Has nothing to do with them, but just because of the rate increase with their ratios, the debt to income ratios, how they used to qualify you. And then we think we're going to have another rate hike. Most likely before the end of the year. They dipped down a little bit last week. So right now we're kind of at that. We just got smacked. We just got slapped, as I like to say. And so now we're kind of recovering from that shock. And we're just going to have to see the real estate market, at least where we are outside of DC and Baltimore, every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it shifts. So what you think you would have got a month ago, check the recent comps and what's happening now. It's going to be different. So yeah, sellers, if you're thinking about selling, go ahead, do it. And then I'd always say buy and wait. If you're buying, not bad either. They're still historically low. They were like 18% back in the 80s. So what I've been hearing is you marry the house and date the rate. So now we're seeing other loan products come out like ARMs. So, and if you have a higher rate, go ahead and do it if you have to, or ask for the closing cost help from the seller. Use that seller's subsidy to buy down your rate, right? So that's the best too, or just refi in a couple months or a year or 2.
So folks, Rachel's the professional. She'll get the job done for you. How do they get in touch with you?
Well, thesmithpartners.com is our go-to website. So that's our platform with all kinds of information and resources for sellers and buyers. Or you can give me a call or a text, 301-956-3342, or go at thesmithpartners.com. I'm happy to answer any other questions. Again, I'm Maryland, Pennsylvania, and I can do a little bit of DC. But if there's people across the country that have questions, I'm happy to point you in the right direction.
All right, Rachel. Now, who is this we got? Let's bring this gentleman up. Who is this we have here? Who is this well-dressed gentleman in the suit? What's going on here? What are you doing there?
I forced Rich in the house.
What are you doing there?
What am I doing here? I was stopped by. I was in the Baltimore area.
Now we just lost the picture again. What are you guys doing there?
This is.
Do you guys have loose wires?
This is technology by Little Treasury.
Can you point the camera down a little bit? We don't need all that headroom. We need to see that. I like that. That looks like an Oxford sport coat, for God's sakes. That looks like is that a silk?
The Oxford sport coat.
Point it down. Point down. I want to see more of the sport coat. Don't zoom in. Don't zoom in. Zoom back out. I want to see that Oxford sport coat. Does he look sharp or what, Rachel?
I love it. Do they make that in my size? I will take a male one.
Yeah, I mean, he won't. I guess he can't pivot the camera down any.
Oh, okay.
So the story about this, Craig, this had to be surgically altered to be tailored to me. So
can you stand up so we can see the fit? Can you stand up so we can see the fit?
Yes.
Back up a little bit. Back up.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, it looks perfect.
Yeah. I had my tailor is really, really good. He tailors. I don't know if you're a boxing fan, but he like Oscar De La Hoya, things like that. And so I had him kind of keep a classic look, but make it modern to me. So not too tight, Craig. Not too trendy.
It's a little bit. He went a little tight, but you like it that way. Turn around. Let me see the back. Yeah, no, it looks okay. I would have had a little more room in there. I wouldn't have had it quite, but you can unbutton it and generally leave it unbuttoned and you're fine.
Yeah, Craig. Well, when you have unfortunately, I have a 43-inch chest and a 30-inch waist. So
yeah, I know. I understand.
Yeah,
but that's not. And now, is that 100% silk or is it cashmere?
Yeah,
it is 100% silk.
Silk.
it is.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
No, it's not.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Oxford, made in the U.S., made in the United States of
I will
America.
say,
Well
and
done.
Craig, to your testament, I'm going to give you a lot of credit here. My tailor said alone the raw material was worth a few $100, and he said that if he were to make this jacket today or buy it himself or retail it, it would cost $5,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Minimum.
Looks like a
So-
5 jacket.
So
Yeah.
I know, Craig. Thanks for pushing me to buy it. So
Yeah, Oxford is no joke.
yeah,
They're one of the few makers that still make them in the United States of America by hand.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they were. My tailor was kind of giving me a rundown of it because they were fascinated. So they all like studied it,
Mhm.
and they showed me how you can tell it's completely handmade, and they even had like the tailor marks and everything. So yeah, cool stuff. It was educational for me.
Good. Good snag. Good way to go. eBay find. Well done.
Nice.
All right. Well, Rachel, when are you going to do a real estate show and broadcast onto your channel too?
That's what I need to do. I need to do the streaming now that I've kind of got my systems and cameras and lightings and the whole nine. You know how I am, Craig.
Yeah.
Down pat. Although my biggest struggle is always audio. I don't know if everybody else has the same struggle as I do, but it's typically audio that
It is difficult. It's not
Yeah.
easy.
Yes, I would love to do another show. I'll have to let you know. Just doing an update on everything. Ooh, that's pretty.
Yeah. Put your hand behind it, Rich. Put your hand behind the watch, kind of flat behind it, and then hold it so that it'll focus.
It's not on autofocus.
Yeah,
I think.
Just not getting much. Oh, okay.
Saturated in there.
Yeah. Technology
All right.
by Steve.
We will figure it out. All right. I'm sure you're bored with all this, Rachel, but thank you for stopping in.
Of course, I'm here if you need me, and I'll be talking with you soon.
Yes, we need a real estate show.
Crash.
We need a real estate show. Thank you.
I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
The lovely Rachel Smith. And what is the gentleman doing in Japan? Is he just like wandering around?
That's the thing. That's a whole genre, Craig, of shows where people just wander around Japan because it's very scenic.
Yeah, that's
not
a whole
very
thing.
scenic hallway.
here on the channel. I can't keep up with the comments either. So
I have no idea what's going on in the comment section. Someone
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's 6:30 in the morning. So my crew is
I
going to
would
meet me
definitely
around 7.
buy, somebody says I would definitely buy a faux pay from a guy wearing that jacket. Maybe you can get Rich to sell some faux pays while he's there, Steve.
I definitely will try to do that. I don't know if he can
I
sell,
think
but,
I just saw the only green birch in the USA. Can you confirm, Steve, that that's a green birch?
I'm going to take a look at it.
There you go, Steve. Transferring
Okay.
the watch over to Steve.
It's the
Let's
first
see.
time I've held
Megan's
one
in
of
the
these.
house. Megan's in the house means it's almost time to wrap up. Tyson's in the house. Who's Tyson? I haven't
Okay.
seen him.
So here's the birch.
Looks like a black version. There's
Yeah, there's the green.
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you, Steve, can you tell us a little bit about the birch? Because that's kind of what we were supposed to talk about on this show.
Uh-huh.
There's been a lot of buzz on these watches. What's the deal?
Well, beautiful case, beautiful strap, high beat movement, 5-day power reserve.
There's one that comes with a spring drive also, right?
Yes, there is. Yeah,
Now,
we have
what's the
both.
thickness difference between the one with the automatic movement and the one with the spring drive?
Well, the movement primarily.
No, I mean, what's the difference in the thickness?
0.2 of a millimeter. So
The
it's
high
like-
beat will be a little thicker. So this is
Really?
the first time I've handled the green birch. It's beautiful. Unfortunately, we cannot sell them, but it is terrific. There you go.
Thank you.
So, okay, so which ones do you currently sell? Which of the birch models do you currently
Well,
sell?
we have the silver or white dialed high beat and spring drive, and we're going to be getting the new night birch, which was just announced today. The
And that's
dial
black,
version.
and that's
Yeah,
titanium, right?
Titanium, yeah. So that should be interesting.
Is that the only one that's titanium?
Yeah.
And Jason says, I have the spring drive high beat birches right here. Birches,
Mhm.
he's got both of them. Oh
Right.
my goodness.
And then someone's asking about
Okay.
Chris. Chris is in his studio today, cutting his next video, so he's not available.
Okay.
Substituting in for Chris.
Yeah, this is the Chris substitute here, right over there. He went
The
away.
camera is doesn't like it.
Well, we did a very last minute setup here, so the
We
usual.
got a black screen again all of a
I
sudden.
know. Here I go back again.
Yeah. Okay. So what is your general impression? Has the quality of the Grand Seiko watches, have they even brought it up to even a new higher standard? I mean, are they just going crazy with the quality? What's going on?
I think that we're going to let Rich speak to that. Here he goes. Hang on. Yep. Wait a minute. Slow down. I faded to black.
There we go.
Are we in?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is why Steve flew me out today, was to talk about how great the Birch is. So yeah, they have gone next level. What I can say is the Evolution 9 case is completely on a different level. The level of facet, the details, all this stuff you grow to love about Grand Seiko in terms of the intricacies of the polishing and case creation is on another level. The movement finishing now, they're taking really seriously. The high beat model in particular has finishing elements of a lot of high-end Swiss brands like to do. So that's to go to the next level. The bracelet, all the issues, there are people who had complaints about Grand Seiko bracelets in terms of it being sort of flimsy or whatever. And some people like that, it's more flex, but they really addressed it. And now, they're competing right there with the top Swiss brands in that regard. And then the dial speaks for itself. And the finishing is even better on these high-end Birch models than the base level models.
How does the dial look in person, the dial on yours?
So my dial is a transformative dial, so it goes for anywhere from basically black to a bright, almost teal green in direct sunlight. So most of the time, it's a pretty, I would say, Steve, what do you think from there? Just looking at the watch.
It looks like a forest green from this angle.
Yeah, most of the time it's exactly what Steve says. It looks like a pretty dark forest green watch, conservative. I mean, you could wear it in all occasions. But to the wearer, especially in light, it's going to have more of that texture and bright sort of feeling to the dial.
Okay, so Jason has a couple of questions here. Steve, I got an 002 that I'd like to give you a great deal on live right now.
Okay.
He's trying to get rid of an 002.
Is that right? Okay. What do you want to trade it toward, Jason?
Yeah, Jason, let him know. What are you trading it in on?
I suggest something substantially more expensive so you get the best.
Yeah, that would be very nice.
Yeah.
Like a Crador or something?
That would be good.
Most dynamic dial I've ever seen in the green birch. Where is AC3? I don't know. John Smith. I was told the Grand Seiko rice paper can be used to roll sushi.
Right.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Does panties for Bitcoin have green birch panties available? That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, I just have to see these things in person, I guess. I can't believe that the quality's even a higher level than my 002. I think, would you say, how would you compare it to the 002 finishing?
You want me to, like, Craig, I've had both watches side by side. Now, the 002 is a completely different case. And let's be clear, it's yellow gold, so it's a different beast. But the finishing and case construction is better on the Birch than the 002. It's more intricate, it's more advanced. There's a lot more man effort and time put into the polishing and everything else. It's because it's so multifaceted and multidimensional to the case on the Evolution 9. And also it's reflected on the price. So the 002 is based off of the base steel watch, which is priced less. The base steel watch of the 002 version is priced less than a steel Birch is. So the price also reflects that. The Birch is, Grand Seiko sees the quality out of it, and they themselves think it's a little more up end. Let's say that.
So it sounds like they need to come out with a birch in 18 karat yellow gold.
Yeah, if they did that, that would be something.
It sounds like that's what they need to do. An
Golden
all gold birch.
Birch. What color dial would you put on that, Craig, on golden birch?
When
I think it would be fine with the dial that Jason has. I think it would look fine in 18 karat yellow gold.
Okay, so it's silver birch, and then
Actually, I like the spring drive dial a little bit better. I'm looking at the picture of the side by side here with the spring drive dial. Let me share it here real quick. I kind of like that dial a little bit better.
A little more
Let me
subdued.
see if I can bring this up. See, there's a side by side. See the one on the right, the spring drive? I'm just thinking that might be a better option for one in all 18 karat gold. Not quite as much texture, or not quite as, I don't know how it's hard to describe, but I just think that might be a better option for one in solid 18 karat gold.
Yeah, the spring version is definitely more subtle and more white, while the silver or the high beat version has a very silver tone to it, and the texture is very heavy. So it's up to the eyes of the beholder. I prefer the silver one a little more, or the high beat one a little more myself, but I can totally see why people prefer the spring drive one. I think they're both great.
Yeah.
I have a question, if it's okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, look, I'm living here in Japan. I cannot deny it. I mean, even like I said, like I mentioned before, I own myself 10 Seikos. Seiko definitely in the last 3 years, they really upgrade a lot their reputation already from also the prospect line, that everything became much more expensive and much more quality. So no deny about that. I really appreciate Seikos and really appreciate Grand Seikos. I mentioned before the box thing, but another thing that I'm hearing a lot, by the way, also in Japan, because in Japan here, you do see, a lot of Japanese that actually going to the Swiss brands. I'm not going to mention specific names, but they're going to the Swiss watches, and this is also, before you had somebody talking about investments and so on, and the people, when they're starting to spend 10, 20, 30, 40 grand on watches, it seems like they want to feel comfortable that some of the investments still hold, So
If they're not
I mean,
planning on keeping the watch, yeah. I mean, but if you're planning on
so
keeping the watch, then it doesn't matter.
so could you tell me or explain to me if Seiko look into that, and do they thinking to do something regarding that matter as well? Like, I mean, if they're willing to create also a kind of maybe a hype or something that can have some pieces that going to be highly demand.
I think that my impression is that Grand Seiko in particular can't really scale that easily. There's a lot of handwork in those watches, so it's not easy for them to hire enough people to really scale up their production and to become a higher production watch like Rolex is, right? Rolex spends a lot of money on marketing and promotion and all those things to generate the hype, to generate the demand, to be able to sell, hundreds of thousands of watches a year, right? Maybe 600,000, maybe 100,000. We don't really know. I don't think that Grand Seiko could do that under any circumstances, because I think there's too much handwork in their watches. So I think they're going to kind of stay where they are and maybe, up production a little bit, but kind of stay a relatively low production, under the radar brand with relatively limited advertising expense. You don't see them sponsoring Wimbledon. You don't see them doing any of that stuff, right? And so I don't think they're going to go there. I don't think they're going to do it. And I don't think they have to, because I think they're probably selling whatever watches they can make right now. So they don't really need any additional promotion.
Well, Craig,
That's
They have the
my
money.
that's just my gut feeling on it.
limited edition stuff. I mean, a lot of the limited edition stuff that Grand Seiko is releasing, they sell out instantly, and some of that they are maintaining their value, or in some cases going up in retail. You even look at the Lake Sua model, which is 2,000 pieces. That's a lot for a limited edition Grand Seiko. But go online and try to find that under retail, let alone the pieces that they're making, 150, limited editions. I mean, they're retaining their value. So I think that Grand Seiko is looking into that to at least a certain degree. And it's becoming more of a brand where, they come out with these releases and these inspirations, and you kind of have to jump on the boat right there and there and get the pickings, because they just sell out in a day, 2 days, 3 days, these limited models. So there's I think there's some truth that they're definitely considering that as well. Oh, this thing.
Yeah, I mean the other thing to put this in perspective a little bit, the steel Rolex hype and the really high prices that we've seen the last several years, maybe the last 3 or 4 years, maybe even as long as 5 years. I'm not sure how long it's been going on. That's an anomaly. That's not normal. So things will go back to normal, where you'll be buying Rolexes for list price. You'll maybe be able to get a discount on some models at the AD. They'll be in stock at the AD. That's where we'll end up after all this hype cycle dies down.
But
Because
you
what
know,
we've seen the last 4 or 5 years is not normal.
Yeah,
in the
but
Rolex market.
This hype cycle actually influence other brands as well. I mean, for example, up to I think 2 years ago, you could get Vacheron Constantin overseas. It wasn't like that special, and suddenly now it became a hype watch. I think also, yeah, please.
Yeah, eventually all of this will die down, and the speculators will get out of the market. Right now there's a lot of speculators in the market, a lot of people that are buying 5, 6, 8, 10 watches as quote investments. When they find out that those are really not good investments and they all start selling at the same time, that's when you'll see the price really come down. And then we'll go back to a market where it'll be people buying the watches that are actually end users that actually want the watch, not a speculator speculating on the watch.
You know what? I should definitely say that we should also blame Philips auction for also overhype pieces. We did see this with the Nautilus Tiffany dial, and also we saw that with lately. I think it was a Hawk selling for, I think was 100K. That this is insane and stupid.
Yeah, there's a lot of hype in the market, and a lot of when you see gray market dealers with 50 watches in inventory, right, and now they're starting to slow down on their buying. The writing's on the wall that this is not going to continue. That something's going to happen, and when everybody starts panicking, that's when there's going to be blood in the streets, and Rolexes will be
I hope.
much more reasonable.
From your mouth to God. From your mouth to God, I really hope.
Yeah,
so.
anybody that's sitting on a whole bunch of watches as quote investments, you better liquidate now while you can. That's all I'm saying. Okay, I think we're gonna wrap it up pretty soon here. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in from Japan. And come in next time. Show us all your watches. Next time we do a show, come on in and show us all your watches.
I mean, I will show you in person because, of course, you do have a bank safe, so it's not easy to show everything.
Okay, I understand.
But
all right, well, thank you very much.
No problem.
All right, we're international. We're international now.
Rich wanted to say something.
Yeah, I wanted to. Yeah. Well, no, I was going to say, Craig, when's the last time you came into the store?
Wait, hold on a second. I'll bring you up to solo. Well, actually, I'm going to drag you over here. There we go. The last time I was in Steve's store, I think was the event, wasn't it, Steve?
Yeah. You haven't been around.
You wouldn't recognize it. I came into the store today. The renovation that they've done with these displays, it's next level. Actually, I haven't seen it in another boutique at this level with this diversity of brands. It's crazy. Everyone who's going to come to the event, you're going to be shocked at what's been done here. I couldn't believe it. And it's not just one booth. It's every single brand, and it looks like a showcase, directly from the brands at the highest level. So it's pretty crazy. A lot of next level stuff being done here, and so I couldn't believe it. That much change in a short period of time.
Yeah, no. And you could also ask the question in a different way. You asked, when was the last time I was in the store? You could have also asked, when was the last time I was invited to come to the store?
Oh, come on, Craig. Come on in. Come on in. Anytime.
Anyway, Derek says, when am I going to buy date 8? How many times have I said that I stepped up to Grand Seiko? What part of the word I stepped up to Grand Seiko from Rolex did he not understand the first 5,000 times I said it?
Right.
But anyway, Derek, no, I'm not buying another date 8. I had date 8s. I've moved on. This guy got a GPU because of the crypto dump. Yes, crypto is imploding. Don't buy any of those cryptocurrencies. They are all scams. Only buy and hold Bitcoin. Only buy and hold Bitcoin. Skip the crypto. Kyle Jets in the house. Great call from Japan. Yes, it was. Craig by Jason's 002. They want me to have 2 002s.
Yep.
2 002s. Rich, when are you stopping over for steaks? Bring Steve and Linda.
Oh,
there's an invite.
cool. Yep.
And I heard his steaks are really good.
Sounds
Does
good
Grand
to me.
Seiko's Jirachu polished lacquer on their boxes? No. These are not box watches, guys. When you buy a Grand Seiko, you wear them. You put them on your wrist and you wear them. They're not box watches. They're for wearers. I'm worried about Boozer. Megan. He seems mad at me. Steve, first video tour, store layout. Oh yeah, Steve, they want you to do a video tour
Let's Chris
of
to
the
do
store.
that. Yeah. Yep. We could do
When
it.
are you going to do that? A new video tour of the store?
Pretty soon. We just got done with
Is
this
Steve
stuff,
locked
guys.
up?
We're
Steve's
just,
locked up.
We're 10 days into it.
Oh my goodness. Steve, now you're back.
Uh,
Steve, you're back. They want to know when you're going to do a video tour of the store.
Pretty soon. Pretty soon. We just got done with all this, folks. This hasn't been around for a month. So
by the way, your necklace that you have, I know it's not a faux pay, but how long is it?
Probably 20 inches. I'd have to measure it. 20, 22.
How far does it come down? About right there?
Where is it? Wait, here. Comes down to there.
Well, that's pretty far.
Well, it's got a pendant on it too.
Okay.
Just lost me.
We lost your picture again. Jeez. Can you
all
find
my
out?
cameras are set on auto off. So
can you find out what size faux pay a necklace I should wear?
Well, how far do you want it to hang down? Let's go back there.
Just whatever makes sense. I mean, I'm not an expert at these things. You're the expert.
Well, why don't you come in for a fitting? We'll have you fit.
A fitting.
A fitting.
Well, I'll be there at some point. We'll figure it out.
But
yeah, I just figured maybe you could do a little bit of preliminary research. Make sure that you have the right sizes and stocks for me to try on. So there's that. Does faux pay make any size between a bracelet and a ring? What does that mean?
Any size.
I don't know what he means by that. Steve, my deposit receipts came in. Thanks again and good chatting with you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, there, Stiefel.
Okay.
Chat with you.
One bigger than the ring, but smaller than the bracelet. Where would you put that? We don't want to know. We don't want to know what you're using that for.
This is Derek, so
Yeah, we don't want to know. All right. So anything else before we let you go? Anything? I mean, we haven't caught up with you for a while. You look really healthy. What have you been doing? Have you been exercising and eating
Yeah,
right
I've
and
been
all
out
that
in the
good stuff?
yard. I've been doing a little more exercising, and things are good. So trying to keep healthy. So, and just looking at the questions. I think
Talk
we
into the
covered
mic a
everything.
little more.
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah,
sorry
talk
about
into the
that.
mic a little more.
Yeah. Yep, I've gotten rusty with my technique, that's for sure.
Okay.
So anyway, we got to close up the operation here, start doing that, and going to hop off. And good to chat with everybody.
LittleTreasury.com. The link is in the description. Let me see if I
Triforce
can.
wants to say ciao to everybody.
Yes, it was a pleasure. I didn't think anyone expected me on. I was surprised. I kept it hidden from the boys, so we kept a good secret. But it was awesome. We haven't had a show in a while. It's great to see you all. And definitely come to the next event. You're all going to be surprised at what's been going on here. It's crazy in a good way. So.
Yep.
There you go. And that's the link
Okay.
there, LittleTreasury.com. You see it in the lower third there.
Okay.
LittleTreasury.com. Just go there, or be square.
Right. Oh, there you are.
That's what you
Okay.
got to
Thanks.
do. All right. Well, thanks for coming on, Steve. And we've been
Okay.
going for an hour and 10 minutes, including the pregame show.
Right.
So
Okay.
good show. Jolly
Thank
good
you.
show, I say.
Thank you for having us. Take care.
Carry on, my friend.
Yep. See ya.
So that was the Stevester from Little Treasury, coming in just like that. All right. Well, on that note, I think we're going to wrap it up. Let's see who's in the comments. Derek says we can't end. It's been a long time without shows. Yeah, it has been. Absolutely. I had to relog in and reset things up and make sure everything was working right. Great seeing you, Steve. See you soon for the steaks and whiskey. All right. Let me see what else I can do here. Brand. Let me see what else I could show. There's the super watches again. Super watches. Okay. Let's see what else. By the way, as far as Brianna needing the 002, she loves that 038. I mean, it's a perfect size for her. It's a gorgeous watch. In some ways, I even like that dial more than mine, believe it or not. It's just so freaking stunning, that watch. So no, she's very happy with the 038. And there's the battery replacement that we did on it. And again, Grand Seiko Stunners is the way to go. And it's always the time to buy Grand Seiko. Always the time to buy a Grand Seiko. So there you go. Let's see what the comments are here. Carlos and Lance are calling in. Yeah, Carlos didn't make it from Scotland. He didn't make it from Scotland. All right, folks, I'm going to let you guys go. Thanks again for tuning in. It was real. We'll try to do a show sooner rather than later. And by the way, skip the crypto. Thumbs down on any of the crypto projects. Skip those. Just buy and hold Bitcoin, folks. Have a strong hand. Buy and hold. You'll thank me later. For that.